All right, so continuing on with this amazing series that we're doing because fantasy football is just around the corner. The next episode we have today is all about the wide receivers, the guys who are getting paid pretty much just like what a quarterback gets paid. So, obviously, with them being paid highly, they're probably going to be drafted highly, but we have some that you should not draft. So, with all that being said, we're going to hit that intro in a three, a two, a one.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round Bite Show, where we bring you all football all the time. And today we are going to be talking about do not draft these wide receivers, and we're going to tell you why. Soss, before we get into this episode, do you have anything for our lovely viewers?
Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Typically, around this season is our favorite season because it is fantasy football. We got all kinds of fantasy talk going on. Obviously, we're going to be pumping out the videos. If you guys are enjoying these, please make sure that you let us know. Try to watch them, try to like them, comment, get us in the algorithm. That way we can continue to be popping up all over the feeds and everything. We got card opening videos, I'm sure, coming along. I don't have anything to open right now, but I'm sure I will here soon. And then I'm also going to be getting college football 26 here soon. So if you guys want to see somebody who is absolutely doo-doo at the game, then stick around. But if not, then still stick around because we got other content that you're going to like. So if you guys like football, you're going to love this channel. So, but yeah, that's my main plug.
Wonderful. So to start off the episode, I have three wide receivers here highlighted, and I'm just going to do two
Do
birds,
it.
one stone here.
Do it.
So do not draft any Seattle Seahawks wide receivers. So that is going to be Jackson Smith and Jigba and Mr. Cooper Cup and whoever else may follow. But reason being is I do not trust Sam Darnold. And I know Steven talked about Sam Darnold in the quarterback do not
Mm-hmm.
draft video. And I just don't draft Sam Darnold. I know he had a good season last year with the Vikings, but I do not believe that he's going to replicate it. If anything, I feel like Jalen Milroe might even step into the QB1 conversation, maybe three-fourths of the way into the year. But Cooper Cup, I think he's on the decline, and I just don't see him playing the way that he was playing over in the Rams. I just don't see it. He even changed his hair. He doesn't even look like Cooper Cup anymore. He looks like,
Did he actually?
yeah, I mean, no, he cut his beard. That's what he did. He cut his
Oh,
beard, and then like he's letting
I
his
can
hair
agree
grow
with
out a
that
little
though.
bit. He doesn't even look like Cooper Cup. He looks like Cup Cooper.
Cup Cooper.
But but in all seriousness, I just don't trust Sam Darnold,
Yeah,
which leads to me not trusting his receivers because if you can't trust your quarterback, why would you trust his receivers that he's throwing
100%.
to?
No, I agree. That's those are some excellent picks. I would say that I completely agree with that because, of course, I was the one with the initial Sam Darnold take. So, I, man, I say that, and then in a mock draft earlier, I actually drafted JSN. So, um, but but he was the best available. Literally, that's the only reason why. And if you've ever done one of those mock drafts on the little ESPN fantasy app, they don't give you a whole lot of time. I had like 20 seconds to make my pick, and I was just like, oh God. And then
Brewskis.
I panic picked JSN. So, yeah. But anyway, so my picks are gonna actually probably they might surprise you. So a
I can't
lot of
wait to
my
hear
picks
this.
are usually they are usually dependent on previous years and who has burned me in the past. One of those individuals you already talked about was Mr. Cooper Cup because of his availability. But the other one, sitting at number 7, Nico Collins. I I have a love-hate relationship with that guy because he might be, in all honesty, one of my favorite wide receivers in the entire league. I think that he is super talented. I think that he is an amazing wide receiver one for CJ Stroud. But my boy got injured, and he's been having nagging injuries since he's been in the league. So his availability has not been great. And we already know in fantasy the best ability is availability. And if you ain't going to be available, then if you didn't at least play in 16 games last year, you're not going to be on my roster. I'm sorry. I get hit with the injury bug way too much.
You really do.
My entire roster last year was flipped because of injuries. I had an injury to Nico Collins. Uh, oh, actually, the other one of the other guys that I have, Brandon Ayuk. I don't like Brandon Ayuk. Part of that was because I had him for 1 week, and in that first game that I had him, I traded for him. He got injured, and so I lost him. So that was fun. But yeah, no. So availability is a big thing for me. The other wide receiver that I had is actually, it also might surprise you. Uh, Tyreek Hill. I don't think, unless he's sitting there and it's going to be an absolute steal in the draft, an absolute steal. I'm not touching Tyreek Hill. It's ironic because last year, you guys can check out the video. Last year I actually had a video based off of potential number one overall picks, and he was one of my picks for number one overall. I man, I don't really like him this year. I think he's got a lot of stuff going on, especially outside of football, and they just paid Jalen Waddle. So my guess and my assumption is that they are going to be involving Waddle more. They're also going to be involving Devon Achane a lot more in that offense. So, and to be honest, I also don't really trust Tua a whole lot. So he's one hit away from retiring, unfortunately. Obviously, we
No
never
worries.
wish we never wish injury on anyone, but my boy, he's actually a good dude. I watched a documentary the other day actually about him, and he's actually a really, really, really solid dude. But
Yeah.
I really wish that for the betterment of his health and his future, I really wish somebody would get in his ear and tell him to retire.
Oh, I'm sure he's heard it all, especially after his last concussion.
Correct.
But no, I like that pick actually. Tyreek Hill, like he did slip on the cheat sheet a little bit. He's ranked number 13th. I think last year, like you said, he was at least projected to go in the top five. So I
Mm-hmm.
like that pick. Two was very questionable. I am excited to see Quinn play eventually. Not to say he's gonna do better than Tua, but that's kind of off topic. But I'm excited to see him play for the Finns. But on another note, one of the other do not draft receivers on my sheet that I have here is going to be Mr. DJ Moore, and we kind of did
Mm-hmm.
speak about him a little bit in another episode. But I just don't trust really anybody on that Chicago Bears offense. The only one that I would trust, if I were to trust any of them, would be Caleb Williams, and that's because I don't
Mm-hmm.
even trust him. But he just has too many mouths to feed. He has like three or four quote wide receiver ones, two tight end ones. Like I don't know, there's just too many people in the mix. Last year Keenan Allen was supposed to be, wide receiver one status, and
Mm-hmm.
look what he did last year. So there's just too many question marks on that offense. And we don't know who his favorite target's going to be, who's going to get the looks, who the plays are going to be centered around. So we're just going to have to wait and see. If you want to take a flyer on him, be my guest, but I would definitely not look into drafting that individual or really anybody on the Bears offense
No,
unless it's Caleb Williams, and that's going to be somewhere way later in the rounds.
oh yeah. That's for those guys that are all up into the super flex and the having 8 quarterbacks on your roster, which is not what we do. It's interesting too because so I'm a terrible fantasy player, and this is like the first time I'm seeing this football cheat sheet. Uh, but what's kind of wild to me too is that I was looking down there. They actually have Jalen Waddle one lower ranked than Calvin Ridley,
That's
which
kind
is
of wild, isn't it?
which is insane because Jalen Waddle just got paid. He got paid last year. He had kind of a down year last year. That whole offense actually kind of had a down year, but that is kind of wild. And yeah, no, I just thought that was interesting. Just looking at this little list, and one thing that kind of always gets me too is that if you play fantasy football right, if you if you know what you're doing and if you go in there with a solid mindset and you stick to your guns as to what you're going to be drafting, the only time that you that you go to your like plan B is obviously if everything is most of the time is if you're playing with people who have not played before, because that's like the only wild card that I usually see that really throws me for a loop is whenever people haven't played before and they're all like kind of like what Jose said in another episode where they're drafting a quarterback the first round and you're just like, huh, okay, well, I guess Lamar Jackson's off the board now. But one big thing for me is just to make sure that you just stick to your guns whenever it comes to drafting, especially since there's so much talent in like the first 4 or 5 rounds are going to be insane. So you can really build a solid team if you are looking in the right places. Like especially with the running backs. The running backs are actually making a big comeback. I can tell. And then even the wide receivers. There's just so much talent on there. It's crazy because looking at this list, I mean, I would think that Lad McConkey would be in the top 5, but he's he's in the top 15 at least. But then you look at people above him and you're like, okay, well, who do you place below him? But then you look at it and you're like, well, you don't really put anybody below him. Like, I think that it's a pretty accurate list for the most part, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I don't know why, but I don't know, man. I don't like Drake London. He's sitting at number 10. There's a lot of I mean, I would put Ladd McConkey over Drake London. I would put hell, I would probably even put
I'd put him over T. Higgins for sure, and I would actually put him over Nico.
right, but I don't know. This list is pretty accurate, but then there's some things where I scratch my head and I'm like, huh, I'd do something differently, but no matter who you ask, everybody's gonna have a different opinion,
Yep,
so it doesn't really matter. This is kind of just like a foundation of things, right? So you
absolutely,
make your own judgment because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna know.
absolutely. So yeah, so guys, let us know down in the comment section below who you would not draft because we give you guys all of our takes and everything, and you guys like to sometimes poop all over us for picking certain things and stuff. Well, you know what? Why don't you put some comments down there so we can poop on you? All right? I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna poop on anybody unless it's Jose.
Well, I do remember there was one episode where we recorded last year, and the guy said Tyjae Spears was gonna have a better year than Bijan Robinson and Jameer Gibbs. I don't know if you remember that
I
comment.
do remember that comment,
Yeah, we need to
and
go back.
that was that was because I think I was pushing pretty hard for Tajay Spears. I thought that he was going to be able to overcome Tony Pollard, but he never did.
Yeah, because we were talking about sophomore quarterbacks, and then the guy was like, "Mark my words, Tyjae Spears will be the best sophomore quarterback this year," or some crap like that. Don't quote me on that, but
I think I only liked it because it was a Titans related thing. That
Repariskis.
always makes me kind of randy anytime I hear the Titans. So,
You a
uh,
Titans fan?
oh yeah. Oh, speaking
Hell
of, so anybody that's watching this, I will be in the Tennessee area the week of November 2nd. I'm actually going to the Chargers game. It's my very first Titans game.
hell yeah.
I'm super stoked. I'm so excited. Me and my wife are going on our honeymoon.
We are.
Yeah, no, we're super excited about it. I'm super pumped and stuff. So, if you're in the Nashville area and you want to hang out, grab a beer or something, let me know. I'm always down to meet. It would be really cool to actually meet some of you guys out in the wild who aren't already our friends. so, so yeah. So I know that at least one of the 202 subs that we have probably resides in Nashville. So hit me up.
Hell yeah.
All right, Jose, you got anything else for our lovely viewers?
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more episodes of whatever, let us know down below and we will try to fulfill your wishes. If you
Mm,
want to hop on the Discord and hop on an episode with us, drop your Discord down below. We will add you and we'll get you on the show and we will talk football. We are here for you guys. We just want to build a community and have fun while we're doing it. So tune in, join, subscribe. Let's go.
absolutely. With all that being said, please make sure you hit up the website, firstroundbuy.com for merch needs. We got some fire merch on there, to be honest. And of course, make sure that it is the bonfire site because we don't want to use the other site because you won't see merch for at least 3 months. Otherwise, if you're on bonfire, you get to see the merch within a week. So Did you already get your other shirt in?
No, not yet.
Oof. Well,
Maybe 2 weeks.
oof. Okay. All right, guys. Make sure you drop a like, comment down below, subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.